Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. So we are back drawing another character for my Harry Potter series. And by we, I mean me and whoever decides to come along for this video. And for this video, I decided to draw the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the boy who lived, Harry Potter. The title character himself. Now, I'll be the first to say, I don't know if I like the way this picture turned out. It's been a roller coaster throughout the entire process. When I first made the sketch, I just randomly got the idea, and so I kind of sketched it out, and I thought it looked cool. I liked the idea, and I was like, yeah, I want to go with this. And that's also how I got the idea of which character I was going to do next, was because I got the idea for this pose, and I was like, that kind of makes sense for Harry. Because the idea is that he's like holding a sword, and so I figured it would either be Harry or Neville, and I went with it being Harry just because I didn't have any other ideas for him, and I figured it's about time we drew him. And even though I liked the idea and I liked the concept, I just kept going back and forth on it looking good and it, like, not looking good. Like, the initial sketch I felt like looked good, but as I tried to refine it and, like, actually make a decent sketch that would end up being the final sketch that I would line over, I didn't really like it. It went through multiple stages of me being like, wow, I kind of hate this. And like, I'm thinking it doesn't look anything like him. And then I finally got to a point in the sketch where I was like, I actually kind of like this. Okay, it works. And then eventually I got to the end of the picture, which you'll see at the end, and I think I like it, but there's still like a little bit about it that I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of off for some reason. Which is kind of sad because I was excited to do this picture because I thought it would look cool, and now I'm like unsure of how I feel about it. So you're gonna have to let me know. And since we're on you letting me know what you think, what is your opinion on Harry as a character? Like, do you really like him? Do you think he's a good protagonist? Is he like a favorite character of yours, or is it just that, like, you know, he's the main character, so he's either obviously likable or just the boring choice? Funny enough, when I first watched the movies, I didn't really pay attention to Harry that much, which is kind of funny because, you know, he's the main character, but there were a lot of characters and a lot of other things going on, so I didn't focus too hard on him as a character because you saw him a lot all the time anyways, and it was just kind of a part of the story. Like, he was a part of the story. You couldn't really see any of the story without him, so you obviously pay attention, but I never really paid that much attention because of the fact that he was the main character, if that makes any sense. So when I first watched it, I was kind of like, I mean, he's an okay character, but then watching it again, I paid more attention to him as a character, and I was like, you know what? He's actually pretty cool. I was just distracted by all the other characters. He's still not, like, a favorite of mine, but I definitely appreciate him more than when I originally watched it. Like I mentioned, in my picture, he is wielding a sword, which is supposed to be the sword of Gryffindor, which is one of the reasons why this character, or this idea, would have worked with Neville, because he also wields the sword at one point. Actually, it might have made more sense with him, since the picture I drew of Harry is an older version of him, and I know that he used the sword in the Chamber of Secrets, but I can't remember him using it after that. But I went with this character being Harry anyways. But speaking of Neville, I feel like that's something that they should have had in the movies more, which is kind of that, like, who is it kind of thing. Like, they never really focused on the fact that the prophecy, I think it was, could have been talking about Harry or Neville. Like, they never really focused on that, and I think that would have been cool, and given the characters more development. I'm not actually sure if they focus on that much in the books either, or either. Okay, random side note, tangent. Do you say either or either? Because I can never figure out which one I'm supposed to say. Because it just feels weird. Like, I feel like people are gonna be like, oh, you say it that way anytime I say it either of the ways, or either of the ways. Also, do you say neither or neither? I need to know these things. Anyway, side tangent over. What were we talking about? So I'm not sure if in the books they focus on that like a whole lot more, but I think they definitely should have focused on it more in the movies. And again, I will say it again, I think that the movies should have been longer. Like, it would have totally been fine for them to be a little bit longer, or to have like an extended version. I don't know why they didn't do that, but I guess it is what it is. Or as they say in French, c'est la vie, which according to Google Translate means that's life. which is weird because I always thought c'est la vie meant, like, was a way to say, like, farewell or bye. Like, people would be like, c'est la vie, but apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? One thing that I did for this drawing was I gave Harry blue eyes instead of green eyes, which I know people will, like, definitely notice, because in the books, he's supposed to have green eyes, but in the movies, the actor they had play him had blue eyes, and I believe there was some sort of, like, they were gonna have him wear contacts, but it irritated his eyes, and so they couldn't do that, so they just had to live with him having blue eyes. And since I wanted the picture to be based off of the movie version of him, I did give my character blue eyes. And sorry about the audio in this video, for some reason it's, like, really staticky, so sorry about that. For the background, like, extra pictures that, you know, I've done all of these pictures that's kind of supposed to represent the character. I did the Gryffindor symbol, as I've done with all of the characters. They have this symbol for their house. And with Harry, I had some other ideas of things that I could do as well, but I ended up going with I believe it's the first Horcrux that they ever, like, encounter, I guess you could say, which was Tom Riddle's diary, because I felt like that made sense. It was also kind of fun to draw. I made it bleed blood, even though I think in the movie it, like, bled ink, or maybe it didn't bleed at all, I don't really remember. Pretty sure it bled ink, but for some reason I added blood. And then he also already has the Sword of Gryffindor, so there was that. I didn't feel like I needed to add much more because of that. And then I also added the golden snitch. In Draco's picture, I also had a golden snitch. This one is, like, slightly different or whatever, but even so, I wasn't sure if I wanted to add that, but I couldn't think of anything else that really fit the space, and I feel like something needed to be there, so I ended up going with that. It is also kind of, I don't know if I'd say it's, like, super important to its character, but it's kind of important to his character. I also did not give him his wand, and I'm kind of, like, bothered by that, because every other character has had their wand, and I was thinking about putting it in the background, but like, I don't know, that would be kind of boring. It'd kind of just be a stick, and I didn't really want to do that, but it kind of bothers me that he doesn't have it, so I kind of feel like I should add it, like, put it in his pocket or in his other hand or something, like, I don't know, it just feels weird. Especially since every other character has been holding their wand except for George, whose wand was in his pocket, but, like, he still had his wand, and now Harry doesn't have his wand, and it kind of bothers me, so I might fix that some other time, but for now, he doesn't have his wand. Let me know if that bothers you. Actually, I hope it does bother you. Alright, and here's the finished picture. Comment below which Harry Potter character I should draw next. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye!